Hello, this is Anila over here. Today I have a video tutorial showing you how to make a shadow box using some A4 sheets, A4 blank sheets. This is a thin sheet of A4 white paper. I'm going to use this to make the shadow box. So to begin with, I'm going to score this paper on all the four sides to create the base for my shadow box. So once I place the paper on my on my scoreboard, I'm going to score the paper 4 times from all the sides at an interval of ½ inch. So I'm going to score it at ½ inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch and 2 inch. I'm going to repeat this process for all the four sides. So I'll just show you once again. It will be ½ inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inch and 2 inch. So I have to score the same way to the remaining two sides also. So I have scored the paper from all the four sides at ½ inch interval. Once this is done, you will have the corners like this with 16 tiny squares. Now leaving one square, the innermost square, you have to trim all the squares out. I'll just show you the marking. So if I'm looking at this end of my paper, I'm just going to keep this one square intact and I'm going to trim out all the other squares. So just give a tiny cut over here, so this becomes a foldable part. Similarly, from this side again I will just leave one and just trim out all these squares. I'm going to repeat this process on all the four sides, all the four corners. Here the paper I have trimmed all the corners. Now from the longer side, just fold in on the scored lines so that it becomes easier to fold in the paper on both the sides. Now I'm going to put adhesive on the innermost line, in fact the outermost line, which will fold in and become the innermost line, and just twist it inwards and fix the paper, fix those lines, that scored line on the base of the paper to form the wall of the shadow box. So on this outermost line, I normally prefer using liquid adhesive, so it can be shifted if it is not rightly placed. So once I put good amount of, not too much and not too very less, just twist in and place it in place. I'm just trying to press it by putting in the pencil from the ends. So your one wall is ready. Similarly on the other side, I'll show you once again. I'm putting glue on the outermost, on the back side of the outermost layer. So good amount of liquid glue. And just twist it inwards. So the two sides of the walls are done. Now to fold in this square, let us again fold it on the score lines so the folds are proper and crisp. Now if you see, once I fold in this paper to form the sides of this side wall, there are some parts of the paper that are overlapping with this wall. So what we have to do over here is we need to trim some part of it so that it doesn't overlap with this wall. So I'll just show you how we go about it. We have got this four sections. Out of the four, the first two sections, first and the second section, I'm going to cut them in this line. I'll just show you. Just in line of this wall, I'm going to cut the first two sections and just chip off this part. For the third section, I'm going to trim, give a diagonal cut from this end to this corner end. This is how my corner is going to be seen. I'll just show you once again. For this side, there are four sections. For the first two sections, I'm going to cut it in line with this edge. So I just chip off the two parts that will be in line with the wall of the side wall. And for the third section, the third line, I'm going to cut this diagonally from this existing corner to this new corner. So I'll just trim off over here. So finally this is how it is going to look. Now what I will be doing is just tucking this tiny packing part inside the gap and put glue on this tiny triangular part and again the edge of the last panel and just fix it in place. So I'm going to tuck it in, put glue on this tiny triangular part, only the triangular part, because that is what is going to overlap with this wall. It will come onto the wall, so I need to put some glue so that it fixes to the wall. So I'm tucking in these two corners, bringing it up. Make sure you're doing this all on the scored lines. Again, I'm putting some glue on this outermost part layer. Just tuck it in the same way that we did the side walls. Just tuck it in and put it in place. It will fold in place itself. Just make sure that the corners are meeting nicely, both the sides. If you feel that the overlapping is not happening, you can just trim it little more. Again, tuck it in both the sides. Just bring it in and put it in place. Because we have used the liquid glue, we have ample of time to just settle it and position it once again. So once this is done, just hold it in place for some time and the corner is done. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. I'll show you once again how to do it on this side. Again, to go back to the same I'm out of the 4 panels, the first 2 panels I'm going to cut in line with this side wall. So this 2, just cut off that portion, and the third panel I'm going to cut a diagonal from this corner to this corner. So just chip it off. Similarly on this side, first two panels are being chipped off, and from this end to this end. That's it. Just tuck it in, fold in all the layers, and just put little glue on this triangular part and on the outermost section. Tuck in this tiny parts inside the hollow. Bring up the corners and fold in the end part. Again, just hold it in place for some time. You may need to just press it in position for some time so that the glue dries. At least the position is secure. You can just put some kind of weight onto this. And then after some time, this is how your box will look. I've already made one before I could start, so this is how my box will look. Now over to the decoration part.